Hey guys, welcome back to another DVD Disney review reading. For today we're doing the Pixar Short Films Collection Volume 1.
Yeah, so for those who are curious what the Pixar short films collection is, it is a home video compilation released by Walt Disney Home Entertainment on November 6, 2007, which is also the same release date as um, Cars being the first Pixar film released on Blu-ray, followed by Pixar's next film released after that, Ratatouille. But Um, yeah, so the Pixar short films they are very much rather interesting. It is a very fun home video compilation to watch because you get a lot of short films to see that have been released over the years, and they're let's just say they're fun to see. I mean, before we start off, what is your what is your favorite Pixar short films?
Yeah, guys, you can tell us for me it's hard.
I get you. There's a lot of good shorts out there. But to me, either I go with Jerry's Game or For the Birds, Mater and the Ghostlight, or Mike's New Cars, simply because they have a lot of comedy material there.
Yeah.
But anyway, without further ado, let's get started with the Pixar Short Films Collection Volume 1. 12 autumns ago, Toy Story opened in American theaters. The initial reaction of moviegoers and critics was that this was one good movie and was different from other animations seen before. Unlike Walt Disney's pioneering Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, no national distinction was needed. Toy Story was absolutely the first feature-length film animated entirely on computers. Today, the 1995 flick, sorry, not 1999, Toy Story 2, one of the youngest recognized on the American Film Institute's recent recount of 100 greatest U.S. movies, is readily identified as a turning point for animation. In the years since its release, three-dimensional CGI universes has become the norm for big-screen cartoons. Many have looked at it in other works from creator Pixar Animation Studios as the benchmark for feature animation. But while Toy Story may be the first chapter in the story of computer animated features, excuse me, the Special Achievement Oscar winner did not mark the beginning of Pixar, as suggested by the bouncing lamp and the company logo that was buried under distributor Walt Disney Pictures' trademark castle. Pixar had some experience in CG animation. This was merely in a handful of minimally seen short films that existed at the periphery of a company whose money came from high-end computer hardware sold to government agencies and the medical industry. The pre-Toy Story shorts were premiered at SIGGRAPH, an annual gathering of the computer graphics industry. They were never really seen by the general public, but that didn't prevent them from earning 2 Oscar nominations and 1 victory in the Academy's Take Your Word for It Best Animated Short Film category. Stupid virus scam pop-ups. The studio's 5 existing animated shorts, including one made prior to the Lucasfilm computer divisions in 1986, purchased by Steve Jobs, received new life in October of 1996 when they accompanied Toy Story on its deluxe Laserdisc set and were released on their own as the VHS title Tiny Toy Stories. Living up to the format's name, these earliest cartoons are very brief. The longest runs just 5 minutes and change. They are also simple, the results of both creative decisions and technical limitations, and free of traditional dialogue. After an 8-year hiatus in 1997, while in production on sophomore feature A Bug's Life, Pixar returned to making shorts with Jerry's Game. Months after winning the Best Short Academy Award, Jerry's accompanied A Bug's Life in theaters and later on DVD, starting a new tradition of granting pre-feature exposure to a past or present short tune from Pixar. In Jerry's and 3 subsequent cartoons helmed by Pixar employees in their directorial debuts, the early format, heavy on visual humor and void of dialogue, is upheld. 9 years later, Pixar has also maintained the tradition of including a short with their newest feature in theaters and on a subsequent DVD. Something I wish that the newer releases would have had.
Yeah.
In addition, 5 years ago, or should I say 23, Pixar made Mike's New Car, an all-new short for the Monsters Inc. DVD and VHS featuring characters from the film and their original voice actors. This would begin a new trend that would carry over to competitors DreamWorks and Blue Sky. These productions were able to tout a valuable bonus feature on the package and also provided a viable, cost-effective showcase for the short format. The Incredibles and Cars received similar treatment with Jack Jack Attack and Mater and the Ghost Slide. Closer in style to the films that they were spawned from, these DVD debuting cartoons have contained dialogue and a more complex narrative format. In a move that was anticipated for a few years, the studio's animated shorts have been compiled into a set that's called Pixar Short Films Volume 1 and arrives on DVD and Blu-ray early next month alongside the home video debuts of the studio's latest feature, Ratatouille, and a high-definition debut of previous outing Cars, which is what I exactly just mentioned from now. With the exception of the musical Boundin', the cartoons clearly fall into the 2 or 4 mentioned classes, with the majority being the silent visual type. Lessening the excitement of this release is the fact that all but 2 of the 13 shorts are available on DVD, or will be with Ratatouille's bowing, in pristine quality on the Pixar feature DVDs that any respectable collection, especially that of an animation enthusiast, already contains. A look at each short follows. Notes that the release years in parentheses are the ones assigned by Pixar, which from Jerry's Game on refer to the wide releases that tie to the theatrical or DVD debut of the studio's feature films. And the first short that we see that was released to the public would be The Adventures of Andre and Wally B. The shortest cartoon and the only one predating the Pixar name. This one tells of a fellow sleeping in the forest who tries to avoid a bee sting. This short is set to recognizable excerpts from Rossini's The Barber of Seville. It was a very short one, too.
Mm-hmm.
Luxo Jr., the Oscar-nominated cartoon that is a paid tribute in a modern Pixar logo. This film tells of a child lamp who enthusiastically plays with a colorful rubber ball while his parent watches on. I'm surprised they didn't mention that this short film was actually shown in the short film with shown in the theatrical and VHS of Toy Story 2. Yeah, because I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, it is weird.
Next up, we have starting off with either a very depressing opening to a very a much rather interesting dream sequence. And that is none other than Red's Dream, the moodiest and least typical of Pixar's work. This previously missing on DVD short takes us inside a bicycle shop where a discounted unicycle dreams of his glory days and as a juggling circus clown's partner and upstager. I said tiny. I meant Tin Toy. Pixar's first Oscar winner and a clear ancestor to Toy Story, the short depicts a destructive baby's playtime from a frightened Tin Toy's point of view. Despite a clunky foray into human characters, this is one of Pixar's best and was selected for preservation by the National Film Registry in 2003. When I think of why do I think of a Sid Phillips as a destructive baby's playtime, or maybe the kids from Toy Story 3? Anyway, let's move on over to Knick Knack. On a shelf filled with tourist souvenirs, a cranky snowman tries in various ways to escape his Alaskan snow globe home to get close to a smiley bikini-clad Miami girl. This short is set to soothing music by Bobby McFerrin. Fresh off his chart-topping Grammy-winning Don't Worry, Be Happy. Unsurprisingly, this is the 2003 cut that accompanied Finding Nemo and gives drastic bust reductions to the two female characters. The bustier original version is neither offered or referenced here. Thank God it wasn't. Jerry's Game. An elderly gentleman spends a nice autumn afternoon outdoors playing chess against himself. Arresting in pacing and visuals, this is almost certainly the finest use of Pixar's dialogue-free format. As a time saver, the character here resurfaced in Toy Story 2 as the expert toy cleaner, complete with a nod to this Oscar-winning debut. That is true because that is a guess you could say that was a cameo that we saw right there.
Yeah.
For the birds. Squeaky little bluebirds are hostile to the much larger and different looking one that joins them on the telephone wire. The gawky newcomer gets the last laugh, however. And they did.
Yeah.
Mike's new car. Mike Wazowski excitedly introduces his best pal and scare floor co-worker Sully to his new state-of-the-art yellow automobile. Figuring out the reason for single alarms sounding proves extremely frustrating for the little one-eyed green monster. Bounden. A sheep who prides himself on step dancing loses more than his wool when he is shorn. His spirits are lifted, though, by an encounter with a great American jackalope, who puts things into perspective and teaches him to bound. Jack Attack. Filling in the blanks of an unseen chapter from The Incredibles, this short showcases just how much of a handful infant Jack is for his babysitter, Kari, voiced by Brett Parker, upon discovering his assorted powers while his superhero family is off saving the world. And little did we know is that this was actually somehow kind of set during the events of The Incredibles, because we seen that Syndrome answered the door of the Par's residence, and well, if you see the entire short, you know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Mater and the Ghostlight.
You skipped One Man Band.
Oh, sorry. I was just about to get to that. 1 second, please. In a European piazza, A young girl with a coin is audience to two musical street performers, each ambitiously vying for financial support. Moving on. You were saying? Catching up with the cast of Cars, this short finds Rusty Tow Truck Mater disrupting many of his neighbors with pranks. The table is turned on him when Sheriff tells him to fear the blue ghost light that's rumored to haunt Route 66. And then the last one that we have is Lifted. While his clipboard welding proctor remains silent, a novice alien tries his hand at abducting a sleeping human with quite a bit of difficulty. Even if you're one of a few people who can claim to be unmoved by Pixar storytelling, you're still apt to marvel at the technical beauty of the shorts, especially those from Jerry's Game On. As always, such beauty is not inhibited in any way in these direct digital-to-digital transfers to DVD. Although styles and formats vary from 2-channel stereo to full 5.1, from full screen to 2.39 widescreen, there's nary a flaw in picture or sound, which are uniformly outstanding and a feast for each applicable sense. Also, widescreen shorts are enhanced for 16:9 displays. In a frustratingly archaic move, neither the soundtracks or subtitles are offered in English, French, and Spanish can be toggled in playback, since dialogue rarely enters the proceedings. That's not a big deal, but one can fathom how the studio that's normally ahead of the field falls short. No pun intended here. Bonus features, menus, and packaging. Bonus features begin with the audio commentaries offered on 12 of the 13 shorts. Ironically, it is one of the best, Jack Jack Attack, which goes without. Strangely, these aren't listed on the bonus features menu, given a section of their own or selectable during playback. The first 5 tracks feature John Lasseter director John Lasseter alongside technical directors Eben Osby and Bill Reeves. Jerry's Game is remarked upon by writer-director Jan Pinkava. Director Ralph Eggleston flies solo on his For the Birds. The light-hearted commentary on Mike's New Car by the young sons of directors Pete Docter and Roger Gold, and Bud Lucky's track on Boughton are both ported over their earlier appearances on DVDs at Monsters Inc. and The Incredibles, respectively. One Man Band features co-directors Mark Andrews and Andrew Jimenez, along with composer Michael Giacchino. Lasseter and co-director Dan Scanlon team up to talk about Mater and the Ghostlight. And finally, veteran soundman Gary Radstrom speaks on his directing about the debut's Lifted. Quite often, speakers on feature commentary tracks find it difficult to fill 2 hours of air with brilliant insight. With the much shorter runtimes here, the opposite is true, in that the commentators are limited by the lack of time. Still, they pack the most they can into each track, usually running into the disproportionate credits roll. The Pixar shorts. A short history is an excellent overview of the studio's pre-feature days, which includes comments from dozens of relevant people. It also provides excerpts from a variety of video clips, like production footage, animation tests, and commercials. Frustratingly, there is no opportunity to see the media sampled in full. With loads of available disk space, disc content's inclusion should have been a no-brainer. The only other listed supplements are 4 Sesame Street shorts starring Luxo and Luxo Jr. Like other segments of the long-running PBS stable, they're designed to entertain while educating basic concepts. ranging from 20 seconds to a minute each. These cartoons illustrate different weights and directions. The presentation is surprisingly clunky, with no separate menu or play all option, plus copyright notices after each short. The titles are Surprise, Light and Heavy, Up and Down, and Front and Back. 3 minor Easter eggs are discovered with some ease. From the short film selection page, one finds a way to see a test animation a version of Luxo Jr. From the subtitles menu, one can access Beach Chair, an unremarkable but technically innovative 19-second 1986 sci-fi short directed by Eben Osby. Hang on one second.
Well, guys, if you're watching this, skip over to the part where Duke comes back.
All right, I'm back with a little bit of a technical issue. I mean, not exactly technical issue, but not really an issue anyway. Anyway, back to yeah, I was right after Eben Osby. From the audio options page, the least obvious and final egg is found. It's Bill Reeves and Alan Former's 13-second Flags and Waves, which, like the previous find, seems better classified as a CGI test than a short. Parts of the glowing DVD trend, all the commentaries and other bonus features are subtitled. The featurette even offers Japanese subtitles. Unfortunately, poor mastering prohibits activating subtitles in the middle of the feature. The main menu coolly takes one into Pixar's screening room before settling on a montage of the clips from the films, set to an excerpt of one-man band's end credits music. We're arriving at sub-menus showcases some nifty transitions, clever designs, and more music from the shorts. Inside the keep case, like any major DVD today, is a holographic and embossed cardboard slipcover are 2 inserts. One is for the Disney Movie Rewards program, complete with a code and a promise of a free surplus shipping collectible Pixar pin set, and with the purchase of this and Ratatouille. The other provides a shorts and supplements list, while doubling as an ad for the concurrently released Cars Blu-ray. Upon inserting the disc, one is treated to a promo for Disney movies on Blu-ray and trailers for WALL-E, Return to Neverland, The Santa Claus 3, The Escape Clause, and Ratatouille. While the 13 cartoons range from good to outstanding, it's preposterous to recommend Pixar Short Films Volume 1 at its asking price. No DVD collection should be without any of Pixar's feature films. And once you own them all through Ratatouille, you also own between 9 and 11 of these 13 shorts, the commentaries, fine featurettes, Sesame Street shorts, and convenience of having all in one place are worth something. But that something is about half of this list price. The shortage of content here, when anything Pixar related would have been apt and a number of entities were legally cleared at least for the featurette, is quite disappointing. In short, that is a sweet buy for about $10, But until you find it at that price, feel free to pass, knowing that you already own most of it and might own it even more if the 2005 Toy Story movie re-releases haven't dropped their accompaniment in anticipation of this. That was a very almost like a shorter article.
It really was short. Like it came in like 25 minutes.
Yeah, and it was. Yeah, that was definitely 25 minutes.
Anything else to say before we decide what we can do tomorrow and then end this off?
There's nothing else for me.
All right. Well, guys, that's it for this one. I know it was very short, but so are the shorts themselves. Oh, granted, they're shorter than this, but all right. So I think tomorrow we can do Ratatouille. Like read the review of Ratatouille on DVD Disney. So guys, unless Duke's not available, then we could do it on Thursday, but that might not be the case. Anyway, we will see you all tomorrow. Bye guys.